And another video from Dave. What's up, YouTube? This is Dave setting up White 7. This is another video to do with a digital era of gaming is coming, most likely, whether you like it or not. And does anybody have their own opinion anymore? And another video from Dave. And yeah, pretty much, I got into a back and forth on my podcast. It wasn't so bad on my podcast as when we went to the as when I went to the Dream Team podcast. Shout out to the Dream Team podcast. Had a great time. Sick, Thanos, Jay Shady, Jabari. I'm probably leaving out somebody. Thanos. Had a great discussion. Bear Hugger. We pretty much something that went on in my podcast about the whole digital future, carried over to the Dream Team podcast, to Big Dread's podcast. Shout out to Big Dread. And we started his podcast off with that. And basically, I guess this thing got stirred up again because Rich of ReviewTech made a video. Now, mind you, I did not watch Rich of ReviewTech's video. I did not watch 7th Level's video. And I did not watch the 13th, 16th, let me make sure I'm saying his name right, the 13th, 16th Killer video either. So I did not watch any of those videos. I was basically going on videos that I have made basically since a little bit before November of 2014. I think it all started, maybe a little bit earlier than that, but it all started, I think I made a video and it pissed people off, or it might have started just in that podcast with me and Wolflow. We were talking to, and a few other people. And then I made a video called The Future of Gaming / Channel Stuff and More of November 2014. Then I made one in September 8th, 2015, Will Next Generation of Home Consoles Be Digital Only, or... And then I have another video, September 30th, DRM is here, you just don't realize it, LOL. And I've talked about this in numerous other videos. Every time I bring it up, people, get all upset, they don't like what I'm saying, even though I give them the disclaimer, hey, I do not want this. I keep saying it over and over, and I even said it in the Dream Team podcast, and I said it in my podcast. It's like, I even said it before and after, and it's like they don't hear that part, or they just don't want to hear it. As soon as they hear me talking, they just assume that I didn't say that or something. I don't know. It's like YouTube. They got selective, what they see and what they hear. They're blind and deaf at many times. Many times where they just go blind and deaf, and you're like, what the fuck am I talking to, a wall? But yeah. Basically, the whole discussion got over, I guess, these videos. Now, like I said, mind you, I did not see these videos. But I will say this. I am a fan of the 13th, 16th Killer. I remember when I first saw him, I'm a little late to his channel. Like a lot of other people knew of him before me. First time I seen his video was he did a video on the Nyko Bank. I was looking up, like, anybody had like any idea about the Nyko Bank. I was considering buying it before I got my hard drive for the PS4, and he just fucking trashed that thing, and it was hilarious, the video. So that's when I subscribed to him, and I've watched his videos since then. I don't comment on everybody's videos. I can't do that now. I just don't have the time to, I don't. Sometimes I don't comment on a lot, like certain channels like his. He's a bigger channel, so when I would comment, what would be the point? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel sometimes with the bigger channels, you leave a comment, they're not going to comment back to you, even though he's not a huge channel. I think he has about, let me see, how many subs does he have? He's not like ReviewTechUSA with like 400,000, but he has 11,000 subscribers. Now, there is some people at 11,000 subscribers that will comment back to you. Maybe he will, but if I don't really, leave a lot of comments, I don't really think the guy's going to comment back to me. Now, 7th Level, he has commented back to me, and he has about the same amount of subs, maybe more, maybe less. But he did a video too. I would say out of all the videos I've seen, 7th Level was on point. He said, he's not, pretty much he said he's not stupid, this whole thing. He knows it's coming at one point or another. Now, with the 13/16 Killers video, you can tell looking at the back of his video that the guy is a collector. So in his mind, he definitely doesn't want this, starting. He doesn't want anybody talking about it. He doesn't want developers seeing people accepting this. So I understand where he's coming from. I do, And same thing with 7th Level. He's a collector. But where I have to give 7th Level credit is he didn't go against everything just because he don't want it. You know what I'm saying? He looks at the big picture and sees what's going on. One thing I noticed, let's talk about the 13/16 Killers video. All right, basically, he started, I'm not going over everything, because I did a video last night, and I'm trying not to make this video long. It was like 50 minutes. I'm not lying. But when I went to play it back, the audio is all fucked up because of the C920 camera. It does that at times. I've heard Demon Ralph said he's had that problem before too. And usually I'm good at checking. I'll do like a test video to see if it's going to do or not. Last night I didn't do that. It did a 50-minute video and it was fucking garbage. The audio was like just crap. So here I am doing a video again. If this video is long, I'm sorry, but I'm just going with it. Alright, so basically, 16th Killer shows off in the beginning the Twilight Princess Zelda Collector's Edition, which I understand where he's coming from. He's saying basically, if we have digital games, digital only, we won't have stuff like this. But at the same time, that's bullshit. Because he didn't mention you got a Hitman fucking Collector's Edition out there right now that has a digital code. And same thing with a Halo Guardians Collector's Edition with a digital code. That I saw Wiggy unbox. Just saying, they'll do something like that, so you'll still get your little statue, but you're going to get a digital code, which will suck. I will say that. I'm saying I'm not for this. Let me say it again. I'm not for this, but that's what they'll do. You'll still get the statue or your amiibo or whatever, your Happy Meal toy, whatever you want with your little, thing. Am I guilty of buying collector's editions? Yes. I spent over now $200 on fucking Mortal Kombat, including more DLC I had to buy, even after buying the $169 collector's edition. That's how much money I got invested in Mortal Kombat. Do I feel like an idiot at times? Yes, I do. But it is what it is. At times, this is what we're living in. There's a lot of other industries that are fucked, and it ain't going to get better. It's like people with season passes. They sit there and bitch and moan. Oh, the season pass, it's here to stay. Get over it, guys. You should have bitched when it started. You should have bitched when it started. Digital gaming right now isn't at full force, so I will give him this. Him bitching, it might do something. It might happen. I'll give them that. But at the same time, these developers, if they want something, they're going to get it. They didn't want DRM. They did, they wanted you to be online all the time, but then they have games like Star Wars Battlefront, Titanfall, Street Fighter. This game's useless without online. This game is useless without online. Let me say it again. This game is useless without online. If I didn't connect this to the internet, I'd never get the updates, never get the rest of the game. The game itself without the internet would completely suck cock. Useless. Even games like this, you can play this ain't too bad, but to most people the fun is online. I won't go as far as say this is useless. Useless. Useless without online. Do you get my point? They didn't get DRM, but they did in another way. I would say 70% of your games now are online only, maybe 60-40, 70-30. But that number is going to rise greater. It's going to get more where you're going to start seeing 80-20, 90-10, to sometimes maybe. I don't think you'll ever go full 100%. You'll still have your single-player games like, your Uncharted, which will have multiplayer. You'll have stuff like that, your Fallouts. But I could see them eventually making Fallout into an online game, just like they did fucking Skyrim. But, then he brings up in his video, he brings up Amazon Prime, okay? Brings up Amazon Prime. Yes, I love how everybody jumps on the Amazon train right now because they just offered that now. But the funny thing he leaves out is that it's $99 per year. Per year. I'm talking like you, man. Basically, and you get 30-day free trial that you can cancel at any time. Okay? So to a casual gamer, that basically buys your Call of Duty, maybe they just buy a Halo, and then, the odds and ends, like two, maybe one, or, two other games, that's 3 games, is a $99 per year membership worth it? Are they really making out with these sales at the end of the day? No. I'm a member of Gamers Club Unlocked. Thank God to RXL, he told me about it. I was buying digital games before that. I didn't care. I was like, oh, I get the game at 12 o'clock. And I'm like, it's going to happen anyways. So why not get used to it now? That's the way I looked at it. I mean, really, guys, here's the new division. What do I get with it? Mind you, the disc is in the PlayStation right now, but what do I get with that? What is that? I already used the code. Nobody can use it, but I get a fucking download code. Whatever. That's all I get. A box and a download code and a disc. Okay. When this game is done, like Rich said, that the 1316 killer didn't address. The only thing he said is, oh, Rich can take, because he was saying Rich basically what he was saying was said, you can take this game and shove it up your ass when these servers, shut down. The 1316 killer, all he said is, Rich, can we burn your video to a disc and shove it up your ass? That, because he couldn't come back on it, because it's true. The only one that addressed that and said Rich was right was 7th Level. Because that was something that is very true, and something that I would say is a big factor. If the more and more games come out like this, they're getting their way. These discs are useless. Unless you just want to put, a game like Destiny up on your shelf, and millions of people fucking hate it, and say, oh, or you're going to say, oh, I love that game. But I dogged the shit out of it the whole time it was out. But I like looking at the box. Get the fuck out of here. I mean, for real. You guys are fucking hypocrites if I have ever seen any. Alright. So, we went over that. We went over, basically, and then we got in a whole discussion. The one thing that was brought up in the 16th Killers video and in the Dream Team podcast, and one thing I want to say too that went along with what I'm making this video, does anybody have their own opinion anymore? Like last night, I'm not taking shots at anybody in the Dream Team, but it was almost like I was basically talking to the 1316th killer. Like these guys, nobody had their own opinion, and this goes for a lot of people. Like, I understand it's a big topic, but form your own opinion, people. Like, I could sit here with my own opinion, I've said it. I can show video proof that I've been saying this shit before all this shit, It's coming, whether you like it or not. But it was literally like I was talking to the 1316th killer in that podcast. I didn't know that at the time until I watched this video afterwards. I'm like, wow, this is all the stuff they were saying. They're just copy and paste, copy and paste. But that's with everybody. And I don't think it's their fault. I just think after a while on YouTube, like I've been saying, you're talking in circles. It's rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Over and over and over again. Now, one thing I'll say about 7th Level, he had his own opinion. He made a great opinion that I heard Six say, in the podcast. Basically, what they're doing is they're conditioning you, and it makes a lot of sense. See, what I've said from the beginning with how you're seeing more and more digital games. I didn't say this with the Division. I don't take credits for other people's work. I've never done that. With the more digital games you see and these sales and all that, they are conditioning you into the whole process. Same thing with what 7th Level said with the Division. With the online-only game, they're getting you used to it. And that's totally him saying that. I've been saying about the digital games, the more you're seeing of the sales and stuff like that. Check my videos. I've said all this shit. But that's what I'm saying. Like, does anybody have their own opinion anymore? Is it just like Real Gamer? I hate to call him out. But, like, I watched Angry Joe's video, and then I just watch him make, and then I look at, like, after a little bit, I watch Real Gamer's video, and I just hear what Angry Joe said. You know, I've seen Real Gamer do it to me. I've seen him do it to Bear Hugger. Is it that guy's fault, really? Well, you can form your own opinion. But, I mean, with this type of topic, I will give people this. There's only so many things you can say, you know. But it is basically people are just, you know, this guy made a great video and they're running around with his points and saying it. But his points are flawed. The guy, like I said, didn't tell you that you have to spend $99 a year to be a Prime member and you got your 30-day trial. But to the average gamer that buys 2 to 3 games a year, or maybe just Call of Duty, that is not worth it. You know what I'm saying? It's not, you know. And this Amazon Prime shit, like I said, just started. Like, what were you guys doing before Amazon Prime? Were you fucking scouring the Sunday paper for sales at Toys R Us? I mean, you know, like, one thing I thought was hilarious, like, and I probably already mentioned this because I've done this video before, but the 1316 killer brought up Christmas and Valentine's Day. There's been a hell of a lot more sales since Christmas and Valentine's Day. Currently, right now, they got a sale going on with the Assassin's Creed stuff and, you know, the usual indie game stuff. But there's times where I see nothing but a full list. And I know Bear Hugger can vouch with me on this because he checks the sales a lot, like me. I always look at, like, every week the store gets updated. I see the new sales, you know, what they put on. And Bear Hugger can vouch for me on this. I know he can. And anybody that looks at PSN every week when they update the store can vouch for me in this. Right now, currently, you can get, where the fuck is it? What is that, guys? Assassin's Creed Syndicate, $35.99 original price, $89.99. The gold edition. But everybody acts like there's no sales that ever go on PlayStation Plus and Xbox Gold, games with gold. That's a load of shit. Then, at the end of the 1316 Killer's video, he brought up games like Tomb Raider Definitive Version, but he forgets to tell you that they just gave it to us on gold. Yes, I know you have to have a prescription to own that game, but they have recently just gave that game to us not long ago, and I have seen that on Xbox Live and PlayStation Plus, or whatever you want to call them, Xbox Live, Xbox Gold, whatever. I've seen it on both of them for like next to nothing, like $7, $8, $10. I've seen the game around that price point, you know, before Rise of the Tomb Raider came out. I've seen it that cheap. So yes, right now, currently, the game may be out like he said. I think he said Tomb Raider's $29.99 on Xbox One on Amazon, but no, $29.99 on digital on Xbox Live or Gold, and Amazon it's $17.83, but it has been like $7 and some, or $8. It's been dirt cheap on sales on Xbox Gold. Same thing with PlayStation Plus. So yeah, the prices do go back up to where they normally were, but that's at the store too, unless you buy like a Gamers Club Unlocked or a Amazon Prime member. They go back up on the normal price point when they're not on sale. They do sales on PlayStation Plus too, but they go back up to normal price point. Do I think it's right that these games are at the, you know, $59.99 like the store? No. But this is my take on it, what they're gonna do. Not right now. Let's confirm that. My whole general understanding and basically prediction is near the end of this generation, and it's going to go probably full force next generation. I would say. What's going to happen is you're going to start seeing this generation. You'll start seeing day one. You'll see games like let's say the next Grand Theft Auto comes out, or next Assassin's Creed. You know, let's use Assassin's Creed, the next one coming out, or whatever, the one after the next one. Okay, it's around the time of the end of the generation. that price of that game is going to be like $39.99 on digital, maybe 30. You're going to start seeing day one prices like on PC. You see, you're going to start seeing stuff like that. Not as cheap, but close. That's how they're going to get you over to digital. Because when you see games without being a Prime member and Gamers Club unlocked at the store, without being having those memberships, you see the game $59.99 day one at the store, and then you see it on digital for $39.99, $35.99, something like that, $42, whatever, you know. That's gonna make people want to go digital. They're gonna say, oh well, I can get it like $20 cheaper right now, just like how it is on PC, you know, or $30 cheaper. They're gonna do that. They can cut the price on digital games. They can't do that with retail. They can't. They can't cut the price on retail games like they can digital. Digital's just a fucking, they're just sending you something through the fucking internet. You know, it's a download. Not a fucking case and a box and a disc that they have to make at a fucking factory. Okay. And another thing that I thought was funny, like Sick was telling me, great dude. I had a great and we didn't really agree on this subject. We agreed on other stuff in the podcast. Same thing with One Stop. We agree with other stuff, but we just didn't agree with this. He said to me that GameStop, that the gaming industry like Sony and Microsoft could not survive without GameStop. And then One Stop went into detail saying, oh, when you go into GameStop, they're promoting everything. But guys, where do we learn most of our gaming information? Like, where do we see most gaming stuff? I see it on, like, when I'm watching The Walking Dead. I see it when I'm watching, like, The Flash. I see it when I'm watching Arrow. I see it when I'm watching the Sahara Chronicles on TV, on MTV. You see gaming commercials, especially on big events. You know, they get the word out there. But where's the biggest advertisement? You know, where's the biggest advertisement come from? The internet. Do you really honestly tell me if GameStop didn't exist and places like Best Buy, you know, they couldn't sell you a gaming console on the internet? They couldn't have it on playing on for kids on cartoons, you know, on Toon Network or whatever the hell it's called. You know, you don't think to tell me that, you know, okay, and then he brought up the whole console thing. Well, where are they going to sell the consoles? You don't think they could work out a deal with Walmart? Oh, only get Xbox 2 here. PlayStation 5, only get it here at Best Buy, or order it through us. That's how it's going to work. They'll work out a deal with one major retailer, and that'll be it. Done deal. Plain and simple. You got people, like I said, now buying refurbished Wii's off of Nintendo, Wii U's, because they know it's cheap. It's $200. They know that. You know, how'd they find that out? They looked on the internet. But every time you got a YouTube video, you see gaming commercials. I see it all the time, especially when you watch an IGN video or something. You see a gaming commercial. We look up gaming stuff. People are on their phones all day. Their phones are in their head. There's kids with fucking phones. My fucking nephew was like 5 years old with a fucking iPhone. Come on, people. You mean to really tell me if GameStop needs the fucking gaming industry. The minute that they do digital, like, and it's not that. I think at first how they're going to do it, I just want to say this. When they start doing this digital thing, you're going to see more digital and you're going to start seeing less physical. Do I think physical will ever go out completely? I don't know. I don't think so. I think it'll be like PC, how you got that small shelf now. That used to be a big shelf at like Best Buy and, you know, Walmart and places like that. You're going to see a small shelf for physical games, and digital is going to be a whole lot bigger. That's what I think is going to happen. I don't think physical is going to go completely out. There has been talk, the former president of Microsoft, I believe his name's Robert Batch, he has said that there possibly is going to be digital-only consoles next generation. Now, the only thing that changed my thoughts, which I agree with Seventh Level on the PlayStation side of things, I think it could go like this. We could see one more generation of consoles, but if that does happen, we're going to see like digital-only consoles. You're going to see one with a disc drive and one that's cheaper without a disc drive. Or if they do go their whole other route, which is possible, the whole thing with pretty much Windows 10 just basically selling your next like Gears of War 5, Halo 6, if we don't get a Halo 6 this generation. You'll have to get on Windows 10, you'll have to have a PC with Windows 10 to get it. PlayStation will go a straight streaming service like 7th Level said. I could see that happening. If that doesn't go that route, you're going to see these consoles basically with, like, I would say, like Steam boxes. And you know how, like, this generation where they're like, oh, the power's tapped out. They know everybody wants power. And these developers are fucking lazy. So what they're going to do is basically have a console that's going to go out for the first 3 years. It'll be fine. You'll know you can buy any games that come out. Then after that 3 years, they'll send out they'll put an attachment on the market, which will basically be 150, 200 bucks. But when you attach that attachment, it basically will play the new wave of games. You could play your old wave of games, because without the attachment and with the new attachment, but the newer wave of games, you have to have the attachment. It's almost like, let's take this for example. Let's see if, because I don't think people understood me when I was talking in the Dream Team podcast. Let's just say, for example, look how the 3DS was, how you could play 3DS games, and then they made the new 3DS where you can only play those select few games they have out. That's how it's going to be, but with an attachment. There's going to be something that's going to, like, kind of like the Sega CD or something like that upgrades it. There's going to be like a little upgrade thing that you can pull out, like some kind of chip or something, and put another one in. Kind of like, a graphics card, I never said I was a tech guy, but this is my predictions. I say that all the time. I'm not a tech guy. But yeah, everybody, I just think people need to form their own opinions. I thought 7th Level made a great video. And then I want to bring this up too, and I thought 1316 Killer made a great video, and ReviewTechUSA. ReviewTechUSA, just the way he did the video didn't look good. 16th Level, the 1316 Killer, I respect his video, but it was kind of like flawed. I don't know if he just left that stuff out to his own, for his own agenda. Or, I could understand, like I said, the guy's a collector. He don't want to see this shit go, mostly digital or all digital. I understand that. That would suck. Like I said, guys, I don't want this. I've said this numerous times. I'm just giving you my predictions, what's going to happen. That's it. It's a prediction. I don't want this. I would rather me be wrong. You know what I'm saying? But I'm looking at the big picture, and that's what I'm seeing. And then, like, 7th Level's video, he even said it. He don't want it, but he says it may not come, tomorrow or the next day or maybe next year or whenever, but it's coming. He comes to facts. Look at the music industry. We never thought we'd be downloading music. Look how the movies are. People don't even really buy shit like they used to. There are more people downloading and shit. They don't care. It's free. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, they don't give a shit. If it's cheap or free, they'll take it. Fuck buying the disc. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to see digital games go down in price in the future. Right now, it's starting a little bit with these flash sales and stuff. That's what I'm saying. And the last point I want to make, everybody brings up this internet. What's going to happen when the internet, basically, when they get the internet speeds up? What's going to be the excuse now? What's going to be the excuse? I mean, then what are they going to say then? Like, I live in Tennessee. My internet's not the best, but I can still stream games. I've done the streaming on the PS4 with the whatever it's called, PlayStation Now, and it worked. So I'm not really buying this whole bullshit that people say, oh, I might have data caps, but they're uploading videos all the time on YouTube. They're on the internet constantly. You know what I'm saying? But they can't download a game. They can upload 5 to 6 videos a day. Podcasts, they'll do their podcasts on Skype and then upload it, not use Google Hangouts. They can do that, but they can't download a video game. It's hypocritical. Like, I'm telling you guys, the ones that are, basically have bad internet, they're going to be left out in the cold. Because most people that we see on the internet, basically, majority of the time, have good internet. They're just saying they probably don't. That's most likely the big picture. Let me give you a little example. I'm not trying to make this video any longer. I had some fucking neighbors that got upset because I wouldn't let them use my Wi-Fi. I was already letting my friend's son use the Wi-Fi. Her little son. She bought him a tablet. Buys him a fucking tablet. Can you believe this? And has the nerve, knowing that she don't have internet for that tablet, buys him a Wi-Fi only tablet, knowing to send him down to my house on Christmas, my apartment, because I'm going to feel sorry for him and let them use my internet. Can you believe that? What if I said no? What would that kid do? Just sit there and look at a tablet all day? You know, on Christmas? You know, they're not, these people aren't, I'm in Tennessee, mind you. They're not smart enough to just go run down to maybe McDonald's and download some shit off there. No, they would just have them sit up there with the tablet and hold it. They knew I was going to cave in. So mind you, I have him using my internet, you know, and then the lady that I let her son use the internet, she's out drinking with another lady that overheard her say that I let her son use my internet. Then she asked if I can use my internet, my Wi-Fi. And I say no. I say it would slow my internet down because he's down on there downloading games to the tablet all the time. And, you know, I do my stuff. So basically, they get drunk that night and cut my fucking internet. And can you believe this? The lady that I let her son use the internet, she stood there and watched. I know it because when I was doing my laundry, they were all three out there drinking. And just magically, I'm streaming and my internet cuts off when I'm done with my laundry. They were the only ones out there all night. And then when I go out there, they're gone. Point of the matter is, I told my cable company I wanted a new line. They said, oh, we can't do this. That we would have to do all this, all that. I still pay the same amount of money as everybody around me that has the full product. But they don't give a shit. They don't care. I sat there, had them come over here, different cable guys, sent new people, still get the same answer. We can't do nothing. We would have to break through a wall. We're not going to do all that. You know, blah, 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 blah. But I still got to pay the same $170 a month. That's what I'm saying. These companies don't give a shit about you. Charter don't give a fuck about me. They're going to charge me the same price for shittier internet, and other people are getting better internet. You know, do you follow me on this? These companies don't care about you. They don't care. Their agenda, they want to see these games go digital because they get more money. They don't have to fuck with Walmart. They don't have to deal with making fucking, you know, cases and fucking disc. This all this shit costs money. All these, even though it's a little money a disc, it still costs money when you have millions of them made. Millions and millions of them made. It still costs money. That's where the money comes in. That's where it all comes in. They don't want that. If they can cut that cost, it's fine. Now, one more thing where you could get me at, where you could say, hey, Dave, you got to pay for PlayStation Plus, though, but does it cost that much? You know, you can get the $10 a month, or you can get it by the 3-month, which I buy $17.99. Or with Xbox Live, you can find them on CD keys for next to nothing. You know, I got 7 months for $22, you know. But that is a true point, but it's still not as much as Amazon. And with Xbox Live and PlayStation Plus, the majority of the reason people get it is to play online now. So you have to kind of already have that to play online. If you want to play, you know, your games like Division and your games like Destiny, you have to have online. So you're kind of forced into that already, but you're getting deals on top of it. You could say, oh, Prime gives you deals on other stuff. But it's still $99 versus $50 a year, where something you already see, you're not forced to have Prime. If you want to play your games, you have to have PlayStation Plus. The deals are just like a bonus, but they're giving you deals. Eventually, this will all turn not exactly like Steam, but you'll see those nice sales like on Steam. You'll start seeing them more and more on PlayStation, Xbox, and that's how they'll eventually get to digital. But when that all ends and they get the physical faded out, they're going to jack that fucking price up. And then you're going to see more people go over to PC gaming. That's my predictions. And that's my video, guys. I'm sorry it went long. It went a lot shorter than the other video I made. But, you know, it is what it is. You know, I'm not taking attacks on anybody. I hope I didn't offend anybody in this video. I respect everybody I talked about. You know, I just think at times, like, people, I don't think it's their fault. They just hear things and they go by it. Because the guy made great points, the 13/16 killer. So did 7th Level. You know, and ReviewTech made some pretty good points, even though a lot of people just, I think it's just a lot of people didn't like what he was saying. You know, like they don't want to hear this. Whenever you're like, even though I said 1,000,000 times in this video, I do not want this. Like, I do not want this. Like, over and over again, you're not going to hear that part. You're just going to hear me talking about, you know, how this and this and this with digital games is going to happen, you know, and you don't want that. I understand that. I don't want it either. Guys, ever since Gamers Club Unlocked, I love it. That's why I buy so many damn games. I bought a lot of games before, but I was buying them digital until I found Gamers Club Unlocked, which I would advise people to go to Gamers Club Unlocked. At least with Gamers Club Unlocked, like games like Halo and Call of Duty and Destiny, Fallout 4, you get $10 on top of that back in 2 weeks. So it's almost like you get the 20% and a $10 rebate. And but that has to be a pre-order bonus. You have to pre-order it. Now, if you get the game after it comes out and you buy it off the shelf and you have Gamers Club Unlocked, they'll give you 5. But just for these, like the big games, like The Division, Halo, Call of Duty, mainly all the games people want. You know, like I'm not sure. I don't think Uncharted's doing a rebate, but like Mortal Kombat did one, I believe. Just Cause didn't do one, but mainly like Division, big games. Like those are big games too. I'm not saying that, but like the ones like Fallout, stuff like that. The little bigger AAA games, if that makes sense. But yeah, the thing is, that's my video, guys. I know I'm probably gonna get hate for this video. I just wanted to say my point of view. I understand where everybody's coming from. I don't want it, but it's coming. I'm sorry. I strongly, if I had to bet on anything with gaming right now, what I say is coming. Digital is going to be the future. It's going to be a big thing. You know, look at the music industry when Napster came out. Remember with how Metallica was fucking flipping out. Now all these musicians might be saying, I don't know why I can't say that, but they're all having to tour a million times. Like I don't want to say that because then you gotta say, oh, they're not touring a million times a year. They're having to tour a lot more now to make up for CD sales because they can't make it with these CD sales are fucking terrible. The only people that are selling CDs are like country singers. And the old joke to that is they say, oh, because rednecks can't fucking use the internet. You know, and that might be probably true because that's what I see a lot around here sometimes with some people in Tennessee. I'm originally from New York. I was born in Queens, but I was brought up in Long Island and Florida. But I've lived in Tennessee on and off. I'm not going to go into that whole thing. You guys know the story. But yeah, CD sales. You got country and pop music making it, but like rock and rap, a lot of that they're just downloading, you know, unless it's like your bigger people like Eminem. Like I was watching like before he died, Stone Temple Pilots, Scott Weiland, he basically, or Weiland Whelan, I always say his name wrong. He basically said, you know, he was having to tour so much, like literally 6 times a week, where back in the day, you know, when album sales were great, he didn't have to tour as much. He's like, it's like a full-time job now. And you know, the more these guys get older, they don't want to do that. You know, the great road life is cool at first, but when they actually get families and get older and your body starts going, they don't want to do that shit. They don't want to be jumping around on stage. There's only a few people that do that, like the Rolling Stones, Aerosmith. They're still doing it because they probably love it, you know. Some of these guys just get tired of it and they just want to sell a CD. You know, they can't do that no more because of the internet. You can thank the internet for this, guys. You can thank for online gaming if you don't like that and this digital shit coming. You can thank the internet. Maybe you need to go back to the Super Nintendo days. NES, maybe retro gaming's for you. A lot of people say that, like, oh, I'm going to retro gaming. Well, fucking go. I'm a gamer. I'm always going to play what's new. I like what's old, but I do like new stuff. To me, like, gamers are always going to play the newest thing. Like, when that virtual reality comes out, everybody's sitting here saying, oh, I don't want nothing on my head. Are you fucking serious? What if that shit actually is cool and actually what we think it's going to be? Say it could not be, but say it is. You don't tell me you want to play that? No, you want to go play fucking retro games? Alright guys, that's my video. I'm sure I'm gonna get hate for this video, but I'm just saying it as it is. Like I said, I do not want this. This is my future predictions, not now. It's starting a little bit now, but I'm talking about end of this generation, next generation. That's what I'm talking. You know, I could be wrong and it might be the generation after, but I think it's coming. It's gonna start coming. They're gonna start phasing it in. At the end of this generation, it's going to start coming really hardcore, and next generation probably full force. That's my thoughts. If I can get enough people that want to talk on both sides of this argument, we could do a podcast all about this. You know, maybe next weekend or sometime this week if you want. You know, I'm available usually around 5 o'clock, you know, at night, 5 Eastern time. If you guys are down for that, that's cool. If we get enough people together, but I don't want like a shouting match. Like last night, I couldn't even get my points in. On my podcast, I had to go in heavy, you know, just get it, because so many people don't want this. I understand this, but they're wanting to get their points out there. Like, you can't even talk. You're like, just everybody's over talking. That won't happen. It won't be everybody over talking to anybody. It's going to basically be your turn to talk, my turn to talk. You're going to say when you're done. That's when somebody goes. If you want to do this discussion. I've already asked Sick if he wanted to be, you know, if he wanted to do it. If I get some more people in on it, you know, maybe 2 more, 3 more. But I want people with, like, both sides of the argument. I don't want just, you know, one side of the argument. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear both valid points from each side. Maybe me and another person on this side, and Sick and another person on that side. Or maybe I'll go 2 more people. I don't know, but we'll see what happens. It's up to that. It'd be like a little like group debate. That'd be cool. But yeah, that's my video, guys. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Like I said, I'm sure I'm gonna get hate. Like I said, I don't want this. This is my future predictions. Later, YouTube.